Hello everybody, getting ready to do 4.2 part 2 today, classwork for grade 6 math. And on your classwork sheet, you got 22 points on your classwork sheet, and you'll have 4 points going to your notebook or your notebook guide. Have that ready to go, students. And we're going to be dividing fractions. Students, put your name, date, period here on your phone, your tablet, your PC, your Chromebook, your paper, your Droid. Let's go to our page 1 here, which is a bell work. And we got a bell work here, division facts. So we have an example here of dividing, what you got to do here, students. So you got a fair disclosure here. And then 17 through 24, divide each of these. Teachers, give your students about 5 minutes. So we'll see you in 5 for the answers here. Welcome back, everybody, for answers for today's bell work, which is division. For 17, here's 35 divided by 7. What's that? It's 5. And then 1856 divided by 8 is 7. And then 28 divided by 7 is 4. 48 divided by 8 is 6. 36 divided by 4 is 9. 45 divided by 9 is 5. 72 divided by 8 is 9. 40 divided by 5 is 8. So there you go. There's your answers. 10 points here, students. Let's go into our intro here on this lesson, explore activity, using reciprocals to find equivalent values. So reciprocals here, that's a big word. What is a reciprocal? Well, let's try to find out here on page 1 of our classwork lesson today. So we're going to complete a table here, and we're going to use division, and then we're going to use multiplication. So we have 6/7 divided by 2/7. What does this equal, students? So if you take your time, teachers, you let your students come up with an answer. Otherwise, we just go to 3. So 6 divided by 7 is invert multiply. So 7 times 6 is 42/14, which is 3. And then multiplication, we have 6/7 times 7/2. We reciprocate this. This is the reciprocal. Here's your reciprocal. 7/2 is the reciprocal of 2/7. There's your reciprocal, and that's 3. You see kind of like a pattern already here. And then division, we have 5/8 divided by 3/8. So we reciprocate and multiply, and we come up with 5/3. Now, if we multiply here, what are we going to multiply? 5/8 times 8/3, which is the reciprocal of that. We get, guess what? 5/3. So, ta-da! You see what's going on here yet, students? And then 1/6 divided by 5/6. Reciprocate and multiply. And we get 1/5. Now we do it over here, and we go 1/6 times 6/5. We get 1/5. So dividing is almost like multiplying by the reciprocal here of the divisor. Wow. So what's our next one? 1/4 divided by 1/3 equals 3/4. And if we multiply 1/4 times 3/1, which is the reciprocal of 1/3, we get the same answer, 3/4. So you definitely seen a pattern by now. How does each multiplication problem compare to its corresponding division problem? How does it compare? Part B. How does it compare, students? And how does the answer to each multiplication problem compare to the answer to its corresponding division problem? Kind of like the same question. And for part B up here, the first fraction is the same. The second fractions are reciprocal. Here's that word again, reciprocals. What does it mean to reciprocate? It means to flip, flip. of each other. And then down here, part C, how does the answer to each multiplication problem compare to the answer to its corresponding division? The answers are the same. So there is how they compare. They're the same thing. Oh my gosh. So let's think a little bit here. Use the pattern in the table to make a conjecture about how. What's a conjecture? It's kind of like a guess, right? Conjecture's a fancy word for guessing. So use the pattern in the table to make a conjecture about how you can use multiplication to divide one fraction by another. That's number 8. And then number 9, write a division problem and a corresponding multiplication problem like those in the table, assuming your conjecture in 8 is correct. What is the answer to your division problem? So we have to go back to 8 up here. Let's make a conjecture. So multiply the first fraction by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So when we divide, it's called invert and multiply. When we divide, that is, inversion means to flip, is another word for reciprocal is to invert. So that's what we do in division. And then down here, like 5/7 divided by 3/4, 5/7 times 4/3. These are the same. These will produce the same solution here, which is 20/21. This is what 5/7 divided by 3/4 will produce. It will produce this solution here. So that's kind of like using reciprocals to divide fractions. Dividing by a fraction is equivalent to multiplying by its reciprocal. There it is, right there. This is your class worksheet, page 4. So 1/5 divided by 1/4 equals 4/5. Why or how? Because 1/5 times 4/1. We reciprocate the divisor. This is your divisor here. This is your dividend here. Your 1/5 is your dividend, and then your divisor is 1/4. You invert your divisor so that you have 1/5 times 4/1 equals 4/5. This is your quotient right here. When you divide by fractions, you invert your divisor and multiply your dividend by your divisor. It's just things of fractions. Let's go into an example now. Example 2, divide 5/9 divided by 2/3. Write the quotient in simplest form. So step 1, rewrite as multiplication using the reciprocal of the divisor. Here's our divisor, 2/3. So 5/9 divided by 2/3 equals 5/9 times 3/2. We reciprocate our divisor here. And then we multiply. We invert and multiply 5/9 times 3/2. Reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2. And then we multiply and simplify. So 5/9 times 3/2 equals 15/18. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then we can multiply that, can't we? 15/18. What's that? 15/18 is the same thing as 5/6. We divide both numerator and denominator by 3, and we get 5/6. So it equals 5/6. Therefore, 5/9 divided by 2/3 equals 5/6. Let's go into a your turn page here. Divide. Students, 9/10 divided by 2/5 equals blank. And then number 11, 9/10 divided by 3/5 equals blank. Teachers, give your students about 2 minutes to do these two, and then talk about it when they're done. Welcome back, everybody. 9/10 divided by 2/5 equals 2 1/4. Why? Because we multiply 9/10 by 5/2, and we get 45/20. 45/20, which is 2. 45/20. 2 and 5, was it? 5/20, which is 2 1/4, right? And then 9/10 divided by 3/5, invert this, so we have 5/3. 45/30 is 1 1/2 is what we get there. So that's what you should be getting when you invert and multiply here. Both of these, invert your divisor and then multiply, and you shall get these answers here. And that's your lesson for today. Animated PowerPoint Math video at AOL.com for questions or course materials. Thank you very much.